The galaxy was wide, ancient, and full of proud empires. For thousands of years, the Zarthan Dominion had ruled the stars with cold strength. Their fleets were vast, their technology advanced, and their arrogance unshakable. To them, every new world they found was nothing more than another name to add to their maps, another people to bend beneath their will. When explorers of the Dominion first detected Earth, they did not see it as something unusual. The small blue planet orbited an ordinary star, hidden in a quiet spiral arm. The first reports described it as a backwater, a world with limited defenses and a population still healing from internal wars. To the Dominion, humanity was weak prey. High command on the Dominion capital laughed when the reports came in. "Another primitive world," said Admiral Veor, tapping the glowing star chart. "We shall take it as we have taken hundreds before. Their cities will kneel, their armies will vanish, and they will serve us." No one in the Dominion questioned this. Why should they? They had crushed empires larger than Earth's entire planet. Their fleets outnumbered any local defense force 100 times. They saw no risk, only conquest. So the order was given. A fleet was dispatched. 600 warships, led by heavy cruisers and carriers. For most empires, this would have been enough to end all resistance. But the Dominion did not understand Earth. On Earth, signals from deep space were detected. Governments united their sensors, confirming a massive fleet was moving toward the solar system. For the first time in history, humanity was faced not with war against itself, but with an enemy from beyond the stars. Instead of panic, something remarkable happened. Old rivalries fell away. Nations that had once distrusted one another stood together. Leaders gathered, speaking with grim resolve. "This is not one nation's fight," said the Secretary General of the United Earth Council. "This is humanity's fight, and we will not bow." Secret programs were activated, projects hidden from the public, built in silence for decades. Earth had prepared for the possibility that someone, somewhere, might come with hostile intent. Humanity had learned from its own history. The cost of being unprepared was always too high. From hidden shipyards across the solar system, warships emerged. They were not many compared to the Dominion's endless fleets, but they were powerful. Each was built with a mixture of human stubbornness and human creativity. Railguns the size of skyscrapers lined their hulls. Missile silos brimmed with warheads, designed to pierce any shield. Their names carried the weight of history: endurance, defiance, valiant, iron will. The Dominion fleet entered the edge of the solar system, their commanders full of confidence. They expected resistance, but not real war. Their communication channels carried mocking words. Primitive engines detected. No planetary shields. Their defenses are centuries behind. This will be quick. But the humans did not wait. From the darkness of space, the first human fleet appeared. Only 20 ships, small against the 600 Dominion vessels. To alien eyes, it seemed laughable. Admiral Veor sent a message across all frequencies. "People of Earth, surrender now. Kneel before the Dominion and be spared. Resist, and you will be erased." The human reply came from the flagship Endurance. Captain Elena Graves stood on the bridge, her voice calm but filled with steel. "This is Earth. We do not kneel. Your fleet has trespassed into our home. Leave now, or face consequences." The Dominion laughed. They had heard such words before, from countless worlds, all of which had fallen. "Fire," Veor ordered. Hundreds of alien cannons lit the void. Energy blasts streaked toward the human fleet. For a moment, it seemed impossible that 20 ships could stand. Then the humans moved. Human ships fought differently. They did not line up in rigid formation like the Dominion. They struck like predators vanishing into shadows, darting between asteroids, unleashing devastating salvos before retreating into the dark. Railgun slugs cut through Dominion shields with terrifying force. Missiles swarmed like hunting packs, their warheads splitting into dozens of smaller warheads that no defense could stop. Entire Dominion cruisers shattered in seconds. The aliens reeled in shock. How could these primitives hit so hard? Their shields were supposed to be unbreakable. Their fleets had crushed empires, yet here in the Sol system, their mighty warships burned. One Dominion officer shouted, "They are not supposed to fight like this. Their tactics, unpredictable." The battle raged for hours. The 20 human ships fought with precision, using every trick, every trap. They lured Dominion vessels into gravity wells, fired weapons from impossible angles, and sacrificed nothing without reason. When the smoke cleared, the impossible had happened. Half the Dominion fleet was gone. The rest limped back, broken, unable to continue. 600 ships had come. Barely 300 crawled away. Across the galaxy, news spread. A primitive world had defied the Dominion. A single human fleet had destroyed an invasion armada. Alien empires whispered in disbelief. Some were secretly glad, others afraid. The Dominion was feared across the stars, but now they had been bloodied. On Earth, the people did not celebrate. They knew this was only the beginning. Humanity had given a warning, but the Dominion would not stop. They would return with more, many more. In the halls of the Dominion capital, Admiral Veor raged. He had never suffered such defeat. His pride was burned, his authority questioned. Before the High Council, he swore vengeance. These humans think themselves strong. They think their resistance means survival. They are wrong. We will crush them. We will bring every fleet, every weapon. They will learn the fate of all who defy us. The order went out. Not just 600 ships, not a single fleet, but thousands. An endless tide of Dominion warships began to move. The galaxy watched in silence. The humans had won their first battle, but the force was coming, greater than anything they had faced. The Dominion had suffered humiliation, and humiliation was something they could not forgive. For centuries, their name had been enough to inspire fear. Entire civilizations had surrendered at the mere sight of their banners. But now, across the galaxy, voices whispered, the Dominion has bled. The humans stood against them. The impossible has happened. Admiral Veor's defeat spread like wildfire. Though the Dominion tried to suppress the truth, smugglers, merchants, and spies carried the tale. In marketplaces on distant worlds, in hidden rebel cells, in courts of alien kings, one name was spoken again and again: Earth. In the great war halls of the Dominion capital, High Command gathered. Hundreds of towering alien figures stood in a circle, their skin glowing faintly beneath the chamber's light. They argued with fury, their voices echoing. 600 ships destroyed by primitives? Impossible. There must be treachery. Perhaps another empire aided them. No, the reports are clear. The humans alone destroyed the fleet. Admiral Veor bowed before the council, his pride wounded but his rage burning. "Give me the full force of the Dominion," he growled. "Give me fleets beyond counting, and I will erase these humans. I will burn their cities, scatter their ashes into the void, and make their name a curse." The High Command agreed. The order was given. Not hundreds, but thousands of ships would be assembled. The Dominion would launch a war unlike any before. Earth would not only be conquered, it would be broken, a warning to all who might resist. On Earth, the news of the coming storm reached the United Earth Council. Military leaders, scientists, and diplomats met in a secure chamber beneath Geneva. The air was heavy with silence. Thousands of ships, one general whispered. "They mean to drown us." "They will not stop," another said. "We have struck their pride. They will come again and again until one side is gone." Around the table, men and women looked at one another. For centuries, Earth had been divided by borders, ideologies, and greed. But now, faced with the Dominion, those old walls crumbled. President Adebayo of Nigeria spoke firmly. "We cannot fight as nations. We must fight as humanity, united. Every factory, every shipyard, every mind must work together. There will be no second chance." The council voted, and for the first time in history, Earth truly stood as one. War preparations began on a scale never seen before. Factories that once built civilian ships now forged war machines. Massive orbital stations became shipyards, glowing with the fire of construction. Engineers worked without rest, designing new weapons to counter the Dominion's endless numbers. Children watched as towering warships rose in orbit, each bearing names of human resolve: freedom, vigilance, Invictus, hope. But humanity did not only prepare weapons, they prepared hearts. Soldiers trained with grim determination. Colonists sent messages to Earth, pledging loyalty and sacrifice. Even civilians joined in, building shelters, volunteering for support roles, or donating their resources. For once, there were no borders, no rivals. Only one banner flew, the banner of Earth. The Dominion did not wait long. Their armada surged into human space, overwhelming the outer colonies. Worlds like Horizon, Ceres Station, and the mining colony on Titan fell under brutal attack. The Dominion expected these colonies to surrender quickly. Instead, they found humans who fought to the last breath. Miners on Titan armed themselves with drilling machines, turning them into makeshift weapons. Farmers on Horizon set traps that destroyed Dominion patrols. Children smuggled supplies to hidden resistance cells. The Dominion was baffled. No other race fought this way. When they conquered, most civilizations either surrendered or collapsed. But humans resisted at every step, even when defeat was certain. On Horizon, a Dominion commander stood among the ruins, staring at messages carved into the walls. "We will never kneel." The first major clash came at Proxima Outpost, a station orbiting the nearest star beyond Sol. The Dominion sent 500 ships. Humanity answered with only 80. To the aliens, it looked like another easy victory, but the humans had prepared carefully. As the battle began, Dominion ships pressed forward in their usual rigid formation, confident in their shields. Then suddenly, mines hidden in the asteroid belt detonated, tearing apart their front line. Human stealth ships emerged, unleashing missile swarms from behind. The Dominion fought back, but the humans moved like water, flowing where least expected. Their smaller numbers allowed them to be flexible, to strike, and vanish. Hours later, the Dominion fleet retreated, leaving hundreds of wrecks behind. Humanity had lost many ships too, but the outpost still stood. The message spread once more. The humans are still fighting. But the Dominion was vast, and for every fleet defeated, another took its place. Battles raged across the stars. Some colonies fell. Some survived. Each time, humanity learned, adapted, and grew stronger. Aboard the flagship Endurance, Captain Elena Graves spoke to her crew after another hard-fought battle. Her voice carried across the ship. "They think we will break," she said. "They think fear will end us. But we are humans. We do not break. Every time they come, we will stand. Every time they strike, we will strike back harder. And one day, they will learn the truth. We are not prey. We are the hunters." The crew roared in response, their hearts burning with fire. In the Dominion capital, the High Command grew restless. Reports of human victories angered them. Admirals argued, each demanding more ships, more weapons, but some began to whisper doubts. "These humans," one counselor said quietly, "they fight differently. Their numbers are fewer, but their will is strong. We throw fleets at them, yet they survive. What if they are not like the others? What if they are something more?" Admiral Vior silenced such doubts with rage. "They are nothing. I will burn Earth to ash. I swear it." And so the Dominion kept sending fleets. For humanity, the war was only beginning. Casualties rose. Colonies cried out for aid. Families mourned. But still, the people fought. In underground bunkers, resistance fighters whispered old human words: "Never give up." In war rooms, commanders studied battle maps with weary eyes but unbroken resolve. In shipyards, workers welded steel and whispered the names of loved ones into the hulls of new ships, as if binding their souls into the war effort. The Dominion had thought Earth would bow after a single battle. Instead, they found themselves in a war of endurance. And humanity, born from centuries of struggle on a harsh world, knew how to endure better than anyone. By the second year of war, the galaxy had changed. Other empires watched carefully. Some feared humans. Others saw hope. If Earth could resist the Dominion, perhaps the Dominion was not as invincible as it claimed. Secret envoys approached human leaders. Some offered intelligence. A few even offered small fleets. Slowly, cracks appeared in the Dominion's image of absolute power, but the Dominion force was still massive, and it kept coming. No matter how many ships humanity destroyed, more replaced them. It was like trying to stop the ocean with bare hands. Human leaders gathered once more in Geneva. Maps of burning colonies and enemy fleets filled the screens. They will not stop, President Adebayo said. But neither will we. We will fight them star by star, world by world. We will bleed them until they understand. Earth will not fall. The Council agreed. Humanity had chosen its path. There was no surrender, no negotiation, only survival. As the Dominion fleets burned toward Sol once more, carrying vengeance and pride, one truth had become clear to both sides. The first battle at the edge of the solar system had not been the end. It had not even been the beginning of the end. It was only the warning. The war had stretched across the galaxy for years now. Humanity had surprised the Dominion at every turn, but the cost had begun to weigh heavily. Colonies that once thrived now lay in ruins. Starports were scorched. Families were lost. Yet still, humans refused to bow, refused to flee, refused to surrender. In the command room of the Endurance, Captain Elena Graves studied the latest battle reports. Screens flickered with maps of destroyed human outposts and Dominion fleet positions. The numbers were grim. Humanity had won many battles, but the Dominion had learned, adapted, and now brought even greater forces. "They've doubled the fleet again," said Lieutenant Harlan, pointing to the display. "This is the largest push yet. If they succeed, New Dawn could fall in hours." Elena's jaw tightened. "Then we make sure it doesn't. Ready all ships. Evacuate civilians if needed, but no one abandons the fight. Humanity will hold, no matter what it costs." New Dawn was one of humanity's shining colonies, a vibrant planet with advanced orbital defense platforms. It had become a symbol of resistance. Losing it would be a psychological blow as much as a strategic one. The Dominion fleet approached, like a black tide, star by star. Thousands of ships, carriers bristling with fighters, and massive dreadnoughts capable of leveling continents. The humans had fewer ships, but every single one had been upgraded with experimental technology. Railguns that could punch through multiple shields, stealth ships invisible to conventional sensors, and swarms of AI drones programmed to coordinate attacks with deadly precision. When the Dominion opened fire, New Dawn's orbital defenses responded with fury. Energy beams lanced across the void, tearing apart Dominion destroyers. Missile swarms rained down, striking cruisers before they could reach the planet's orbit. Yet even with all their technology, the humans were pushed to the edge. Each Dominion ship destroyed was replaced by two more. Every defensive maneuver was tested. Every strategy was stretched to its limit. On the bridge of the Endurance, Captain Graves looked at her crew. Faces were tense, hands steady on controls. Every officer knew the stakes. "Remember," she said, her voice calm but firm, "we are humanity's shield. We are the ones who stand while others hide. Every life we save, every ship we protect, we are proving that no one conquers us." The crew nodded, a silent vow passing between them. Outside the ship, the battle raged in silence, broken only by the occasional explosion that rocked the void like thunder. Human ships moved with precision. Stealth frigates darted behind Dominion lines, striking at engines and shields. Railgun batteries tore through capital ships, leaving gaping holes. AI drone swarms targeted weak points in enemy formations, coordinating attacks faster than any alien mind could predict. But even with victories, humanity was bleeding. Ships that had survived countless battles now floated dead in space. New Dawn's population had suffered casualties. Every victory came at a price. In the council chambers on Earth, leaders watched reports from the front lines. Maps glowed red, showing destroyed colonies, burning planets, and enemy fleets. General Han of South Korea spoke quietly, almost to himself. If they keep sending more, we will not hold forever. At some point, even the strongest defenses will fail. President Adebayo leaned forward, her hands clenched. And at that point, we fight harder. We will not let them dictate our end. Humanity has faced impossible odds before. This is no different. We will survive. Meanwhile, the Dominion was becoming desperate. Their admirals had never faced an enemy like humans. Every fleet they sent was destroyed or severely damaged. Every attempt to overwhelm Earth failed. The aliens had numbers, but humans had adaptability, unpredictability, and courage no machine could replicate. Why do they fight like this? One Dominion officer cried, his voice trembling. They have no chance. Every fleet we send, they destroy it. Every planet we target, they defend it. Admiral Veyor banged his clawed hand on the table. Because they are humans, that is all. The answer you need. They fight because they will not die quietly. We will crush them anyway. We must. But even he felt a cold unease. Humans were not just surviving. They were learning. Every attack they endured only made them stronger, more precise, more deadly. At new dawn, the situation reached a critical point. Dominion dreadnoughts broke through orbital defenses and began bombarding the planet's surface. Cities burned. Millions fled into underground shelters. Emergency response teams worked around the clock to save lives. But the destruction was overwhelming. Captain Graves knew conventional tactics would not be enough. She called a meeting with her top commanders. We cannot win by defense alone, she said. We need something that will change the battlefield. Something they cannot predict. Lieutenant Harlan spoke cautiously. Are you suggesting the experimental weapons? Yes, Elena replied. We have no choice. These ships, these weapons, were designed for moments like this. If New Dawn falls, it will embolden the Dominion and destroy morale across human space. We strike now, or we lose everything we've built. The commanders nodded. Plans were drawn, coordinates set. Ships moved into position, cloaked and ready. As night fell over the planet, the first human experimental weapons activated, massive. Railguns fired from hidden stations, cutting through Dominion dreadnoughts like paper. Stealth frigates launched drone swarms that disabled shields and communications. Missiles, guided by AI precision, tore apart enemy formations before they could reach the planet's surface. The Dominion fleet, confident and arrogant, was thrown into chaos. Ships collided in confusion. Energy beams struck friendly vessels. Command chains broke as officers struggled to respond to attacks coming from impossible directions. New Dawn's defenders pushed back with unrelenting fury. Every inch of territory was fought for. Every ship that survived became a symbol of hope. Hours turned into days. The battle for New Dawn became legendary. The humans were outnumbered 10-1, but they fought as if 10 times stronger. Every Dominion push was repelled. Every human counterattack hit harder than the last. In orbit above the planet, Captain Graves watched the Dominion flagship explode, its massive hull breaking apart in a brilliant fireball. The crew cheered, knowing the victory was only temporary, but significant. We've done it, she said quietly. For now, New Dawn stands, humanity endures. But the cost was heavy. Hundreds of human ships were lost. Millions of lives on New Dawn were gone or displaced. Across human space, every victory came with a reminder of mortality. Humanity was strong, but not invincible. On Earth, the Council met in somber reflection. We've proven we can fight back, said President Adebayo, but we must prepare for worse. The Dominion will not stop until they believe we are broken, and even if they fail, they will keep coming. The words hung in the air. The galaxy had seen humans fight and survive against impossible odds. They had seen their courage and skill. But even as humans celebrated victories, they knew the war had only reached its breaking point. In the Dominion capital, fear had begun to creep into the hearts of even the proudest admirals. They had underestimated humanity's resilience, adaptability, and determination. Veyor paced before the council, his mind a storm of fury and doubt. They survive everything we throw at them, he said. Every fleet we destroy, they rise stronger. Every colony we take, another stands in defiance. How can this be? An elder counselor spoke softly. Perhaps they are not like any other species we have faced. Perhaps they are something different. Beor's eyes burned. Different. They are prey, and prey can be crushed. We will show them their place in the galaxy, no matter the cost. As night fell across human worlds, soldiers and civilians alike took a moment to reflect. They had fought the Dominion and survived against impossible odds. They had lost much, but they had won too. And somewhere deep in space, the Dominion fleets were gathering again. They would come. They would bring more ships, more weapons, more fire. But humanity had learned something vital. No matter how powerful the enemy, no matter how relentless the attack, humans would adapt. Humans would endure. Humans would fight until their last breath. The breaking point had arrived, and humanity stood unbroken. The galaxy had begun to whisper humanity's name with both fear and awe. News of the victories at New Dawn spread like wildfire. Humans were not just surviving, they were striking back, defeating Dominion fleets with tactics and weapons the aliens could barely comprehend. But the Dominion was vast, relentless, and stubborn. For every fleet destroyed, another appeared. Every human victory was met with an even larger armada. The force kept coming, an endless tide of ships and soldiers determined to crush Earth and all her colonies. In the command bridge of the Endurance, Captain Elena Graves studied reports of Dominion movements. The numbers were staggering. Thousands of ships were massing at the edge of human space. Even with every fleet mobilized, humanity was outnumbered 10-1. Lieutenant Harlan leaned over the navigation console. They've learned from New Dawn. They're attacking smarter, faster, and more coordinated. Elena nodded, her eyes scanning the holographic map. We expected that. Let them come. Every attack teaches us something new. Every loss sharpens us. Humanity does not run from a storm. We become the storm. Outside, the stars were alive with war. Fleets clashed, energy beams tore across space, and debris from destroyed ships floated like deadly meteor showers. On Earth, the United Earth Council worked tirelessly. Every decision mattered. Every strategy could mean the difference between survival and extinction. General Han addressed the council with grave urgency. They are sending fleets that dwarf anything we've faced. Our colonies are under constant attack. If we cannot find a way to stop them, human space will fall. President Adebayo raised her hand. We have survived worse than this. Our technology, our strategy, our people, none of this exists elsewhere in the galaxy. We adapt. We endure. Every fleet they send, we will fight. And every battle we win makes the next one easier. Admirals and engineers nodded. Across the planet, shipyards hummed with activity, producing vessels at a pace even the Dominion would struggle to match. The first major engagement of this new wave occurred near the Oberon cluster, a region of dense asteroids and frozen planets. Dominion forces had hoped to crush the human fleet with sheer numbers, but the humans were ready. Stealth frigates darted between asteroids, luring enemy ships into traps. Missile swarms from orbiting stations struck at critical systems. AI-controlled drones coordinated attacks with precise timing, hitting ships from angles the Dominion could not predict. Dominion commanders were furious. "How can they do this?" one shouted. "Every fleet we send is destroyed before it reaches the planet." "Because they fight like no one else," another replied. "They do not follow patterns. They strike where we are weakest, and when we recover, they strike again." As the DO battle continued, a group of Dominion warships attempted a direct assault on a human colony on Ceres Station. They thought the humans would panic. Instead, the defenders unleashed a new weapon, the Hyperion railgun, a massive orbital cannon capable of firing projectiles at near light speed. The first shot struck a Dominion battleship dead center. The hull buckled and exploded in a brilliant fireball visible even from orbit. The other ships faltered, their formations breaking as humans fired again and again. For the first time, some Dominion commanders began to doubt their plans. The humans were not only surviving, they were innovating, creating weapons and tactics that no alien empire had seen before. On board the Endurance, Captain Graves coordinated her fleet with precision. "Target their command ships," she ordered. "Destroy communications, confuse them. Every ship they lose is another lesson they will never forget." The human fleet moved as one. Stealth ships vanished from sensors only to appear behind enemy lines. Missile swarms tore through shields. Railgun slugs punched through hulls, detonating engines in spectacular chains of destruction. Even when heavily outnumbered, humanity fought, like a living organism, adapting to each Dominion move, learning in real time and striking with deadly efficiency. Meanwhile, the Dominion was forced to consider a new tactic, sending their elite assault fleets comprised of the best ships, pilots, and commanders in the galaxy. These forces were designed to break even the strongest defenses, but humans anticipated this. Using intelligence gathered from previous battles and secret agents within Dominion territory, Earth's fleet predicted their arrival. Entire ambushes were prepared, asteroid fields mined, and drone networks ready. When the elite fleets engaged, it looked like an easy fight for the Dominion, but humans turned it into a disaster. Every attack was countered, every flanking maneuver anticipated. The Dominion lost hundreds of ships before retreating. Even the elites admitted defeat in disbelief. "How can a species like this exist?" one whispered to another. "They are not supposed to fight like this." The endless nature of the Dominion assault began to shape human tactics. They realized they could not just defend, they had to strike preemptively. They attacked Dominion supply lines, ambushed smaller fleets, and cut off reinforcements before they could reach human space. Colonies became fortified hubs of resistance, not merely targets. Every human world contributed. Scientists developed new weapons, engineers built more ships, civilians provided intelligence, and soldiers executed daring raids deep into enemy territory. The Dominion had assumed that humanity would tire, that losses and fear would force surrender. But they underestimated something fundamental. Humans never gave up. Even alien defectors began to notice the difference. Some Dominion officers, disgusted with their own leaders' cruelty, secretly contacted humans, offering advice, technology, and maps. These defectors marveled at human courage. "They are not just survivors," one whispered to a human intelligence officer. "They are a force, unstoppable, unbreakable. I have never seen anything like them." This new alliance gave humanity a significant advantage. Dominion movements were anticipated more accurately. Attacks became more strategic. And yet the Dominion never stopped. They were vast, unyielding, and relentless. In the Sol system, a massive Dominion fleet attempted to strike at Earth itself. The attack was the largest yet, designed to crush humanity in one decisive blow. But Earth's defenses, strengthened and improved after years of war, held firm. Orbital platforms unleashed torrents of energy beams. Missile swarms targeted enemy engines. AI drones disabled critical systems. Every Dominion push was met with precision and brutality. The humans fought with everything they had, refusing to yield even a centimeter of space. For weeks, the battle raged. The Dominion pressed. Humanity countered. Ships exploded. Cities shook. Planets burned. Yet every time the Dominion fleet struck, humans struck back harder. During a rare moment of calm, Captain Graves addressed her fleet. "We are outnumbered, yes. They have endless ships, yes. But we have something no one else has. Our will. Every time they strike, we learn. Every time we fall, we rise stronger. The force they send may never stop, but neither will we." The fleet responded with a cheer that echoed across comms, a sound no alien ship could ever understand. It was not just defiance. It was hope. It was humanity itself. By now, even some Dominion worlds were trembling. Rumors spread of a species that could not be crushed, that turned every defeat into a lesson, that met endless waves of invaders with courage and cunning beyond imagination. But for humans, there was no time to celebrate. They knew the Dominion would keep coming. Fleets would rise again. New strategies would be attempted. The force would not stop. Yet humanity had discovered a truth. It did not matter. No matter how many ships, no matter how many weapons, no matter how many worlds burned, humans would endure. Humans would fight. Humans would prevail. The galaxy had witnessed something rare, something extraordinary, the unyielding spirit of Earth. And the Dominion, vast and proud as it was, could not understand the power it had awakened. The force that would not stop had finally met the species that could not be broken. The galaxy had never seen anything like it. For years, humanity had faced the full might of the Zarthan Dominion, suffering losses, enduring endless attacks, yet always rising again. Each victory was costly, each defeat brutal, but humans refused to surrender. Now the Dominion prepared its greatest assault. Entire fleets numbering in the tens of thousands gathered at the edge of human space. Their dreadnoughts blazed with power, their carriers bristled with fighter squadrons, and their war machines had never been so deadly. "This will end them," Admiral Veor told the High Command. His voice was low, filled with cold certainty. "Earth will burn. Humanity will be no more. This time, there is no escape." The Dominion's confidence was absolute. They had thrown everything at humanity and expected to crush them finally. But the humans had learned something the Dominion could never understand. The spirit of humanity could never be destroyed. On Earth, leaders watched the massive fleet assemble. Communications hummed with tension. Scientists monitored the Dominion's every move. Soldiers stood ready, their hands steady, eyes sharp. President Adebayo addressed the people across all channels. "This is humanity's defining moment. We face a force greater than any we have fought before. But we are not afraid. We will fight for every star, every world, every life. Today, humanity proves it cannot be broken." Across the solar system, warships moved into formation. Planets were evacuated where possible. Colonies that could fight did so with courage. Humans were ready. And at the center of the fleet, the flagship Endurance prepared its final plan. Captain Elena Graves stood on the bridge, overlooking the swirling chaos of approaching Dominion fleets. Her crew moved with calm precision. Every ship, every weapon, every strategy was ready. "This is it," she said softly. "The fleet is endless. The enemy believes they are unstoppable. But we are humanity. And humanity never dies quietly." The Endurance's first officer, Lieutenant Harlan, nodded. "We've trained for this. Every tactic, every trick, every weapon, now we use it all. From hidden positions in asteroid fields and orbital platforms, human forces launched the first wave. Stealth frigates appeared in the Dominion fleet, firing missile swarms that tore apart engines. Railgun batteries from orbit struck dreadnoughts in deadly volleys. Drone swarms coordinated across light years, disabling shields and communications. The Dominion did not expect this level of coordination. Their ships collided in confusion, energy blasts striking friend and foe alike. Command structures broke, down under the relentless human assault. But even as humans fought, the Dominion pressed on. Thousands more ships surged forward. They aimed to overwhelm, to crush, to erase all human resistance in one decisive blow. In orbit above Mars, the battle raged like a storm. Cities shook under bombardment. Millions huddled in shelters, listening to the roar of war in the skies above. Human fleets moved with precision, striking at every weak point, never stopping, never yielding. On the Endurance, Captain Graves coordinated attacks with remarkable clarity. Focus fire on the flagship cluster. Disable communications. Confuse them. Every second we survive is another victory. The fleet obeyed. Dominion command ships went dark as railguns and missiles found their marks. Battleships exploded in brilliant fireballs, scattering debris across the void. The Dominion's largest assault fleet faltered. At the heart of the battle, a secret weapon waited. Humanity had built it in silence, hidden from Dominion sensors, until the last possible moment. The Leviathan Dreadnought, a colossal ship unlike anything in the galaxy. Its hull was massive, armored with alloys stronger than any known material. Its weapons included railguns capable of destroying entire cruisers in a single shot, missile batteries that could strike multiple targets simultaneously, and energy cannons designed to punch through planetary defenses. But more than weapons, it carried human ingenuity, adaptability, and a will that could not be broken. When the Leviathan emerged, the Dominion paused. It was larger than any ship they had faced, bristling with unimaginable power. Its first volley destroyed a Dominion battleship instantly, sending shockwaves through the enemy fleet. Panic began to ripple through their commanders. Humanity's fleets moved in perfect coordination with the Leviathan. Stealth frigates flanked the Dominion's sides. Missile swarms tore apart engines. Drone swarms disabled shields and communications. Every ship, from the smallest frigate to the largest dreadnought, acted as part of a single, unstoppable organism. The Dominion had expected fear and submission. Instead, they found humans who fought like gods. They had underestimated not technology, not numbers, but the unbreakable spirit of a species that refused to die quietly. Admiral Veyor roared in frustration, "This cannot be. They are primitive. They cannot fight like this." But the humans did not care about disbelief. They only cared about survival, about victory, about proving that no matter how vast the force sent against them, they would endure. As the battle continued, Dominion fleets began to crumble. Their numbers were great, but every wave that advanced was met with a sharper, faster, deadlier response. Human ships adapted in real time, learning enemy patterns, anticipating attacks, and striking back with devastating precision. Colonies joined in. Orbital cannons fired at approaching fleets. Civilian-built warships joined the battle, turning desperation into a collective strength. Humans fought not for glory, but for survival, and in that, they were unstoppable. Even alien defectors within, Dominion fleets began to abandon their posts, helping humans from inside. They sent intelligence, sabotaged ships, and guided human attacks. They had never seen a species fight like this. The climax came above Earth itself. Dominion dreadnoughts concentrated their fire, aiming to crush humanity in one overwhelming strike. Cities braced for impact. Millions waited in silence, hoping the defenses held. The Leviathan took the lead. Its massive railguns fired in perfect synchronization, destroying the lead dreadnought in a single volley. Missile swarms followed, tearing apart engines, weapons, and communications. Energy beams struck from orbiting stations, amplifying the Leviathan's power. The Dominion's attack faltered. Their fleets collided, engines exploded, ships spun out of control. Panic swept through their ranks. The unstoppable force had met the unbreakable human spirit, and it faltered. Captain Graves watched the Dominion flagship explode in a blinding flash. "We have done it," she said, her voice steady. Not with numbers, not with arrogance, but with courage, unity, and determination. Humanity survives. The Leviathan fired one final volley, clearing the remaining Dominion ships. The fleet retreated, scattered, and broken. Humanity had survived the greatest assault in galactic history. Across, human world celebrations erupted. Survivors embraced. Soldiers cheered. Messages of hope spread through colonies and cities. Humanity had endured the impossible. In the Dominion capital, silence fell. High command stared at the reports in disbelief. Tens of thousands of ships destroyed, entire fleets annihilated, their pride shattered. Admiral Veyor, defeated for the first time in his life, realized something terrifying. Humans could not be crushed. They were just one planet, he muttered, trembling. One species. But their spirit, their will, it cannot be broken. They are unstoppable. And in every corner of human space, the truth was clear. Earth's response had been only a warning. Humanity had fought and survived against impossible odds, showing the galaxy that no matter what, the force of humanity would keep coming. Captain Graves stood on the bridge of the Leviathan, gazing at the stars. "This is only the beginning," she said. "They may return, others may rise, but no matter what they send, humanity will endure. We will fight. We will survive, and we will never, ever bow. The crew looked out at the stars, their hearts full of pride, courage, and hope. Humanity had won the war that no one thought possible. They had proven that even against the largest, most relentless force, the unbreakable spirit of a species could not be defeated. And somewhere in the galaxy, alien empires began to whisper, Earth is not a world to conquer. Humans are a force that never stops. No matter what comes, they will endure. The war was over. For now. But the legend of humanity's unbreakable spirit had only just begun.